Hello, Gabriel.
Hello, Martina. Yeah, maybe I should start.
Yeah.
Three days ago, I sent you on Telegram an image of this book, of this cover of the book. It's called Dark Matter. In German, it's also has a subtitle, Der Zeitenläufer. In English, it's only Dark Matter.
Yeah.
And then 2.5 days, not even 2 days later, yesterday, I sent you another message like, I'm done with the book, and I'm like liquid about it, and everything is so crazy. And I sent this to you because you recommended the book. You recommended it to me, I think 9 months ago in January.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the possibility that every decision we make creates a new universe. It creates another universe that is just spawned, and it lives next to us. And there are like an infinite amount of universes of the infinite choices that we could make as every single person. And yeah, why did you recommend this book, Martina? Why did you say, yeah, maybe this is something for you to read?
I heard this sentence about two years ago, and I didn't know about the book. The sentence, every decision that we make creates a new world. And that really knocked me, because this idea was so crazy in my mind to think about that a decision is like every decision is like a doorway to go through. And when we went, there is 1,000 new doors to go, and I don't know why. Yeah, what was it that made you liquid? What was it that touched you in that book?
It's this thought process of every decision spawns a new universe, and then like there are different me's in different universes. Maybe some are already dead, maybe some are probably like others are still alive, and they all live their life as different jobs, doing a different thing, and playing different games somehow in a different world. And which world do I want to live in? Like what choices do I want to make? Yeah, this is like, who am I to decide who I am? And I somehow define myself by the decisions I make, because every other me in every other universe, from the theory of this book, like in every other universe, they make different decisions, because there's only one me who made all the decisions, or not, which is also to make a decision that I did. And so how does my universe evolves independent of the unlimited amount of universes where I play a different role?
Mm-hmm. What I thought is, when you were talking, what is about this thing about wrong decisions? We think this was a wrong decision to do that or to go there. It was a wrong decision, and a wrong decision in this book. There is no wrong decision. You cannot go back and say, okay, this was a wrong decision, I go back, because there is no way back. You can only go on and go to the next door and go through the next door. And even if you go back, there is no way back. You know what I mean? There is no wrong decision.
Yeah.
It's not possible to make a wrong decision, because it's always, you always just have the consequences of your decision.
Yeah, and you can learn from them or not.
Yeah, and what do you think about that? Because in the book there is this man, this guy, and he lost his wife. He's looking, the book is about that he wants to come back to her, to find her in one of these worlds. And in the whole book, he's just alone with his decisions. And that's also what touched me, this idea, we are, in the end, we are alone.
Because
we only have small terms of going together with another person, and then we go apart again, because we make new decisions and we cannot stay together. In the beginning and at the end, we are always alone, because we make our decisions, and this decision is always something that we make.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that the we cannot make a decision. It's only the I that can make a decision.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And then, like, randomly on purpose, people do the same decision because they want to stay together or like live together, and it's still two single persons making the decisions.
Yeah, maybe. And latest, when one dies, it's over.
Yeah.
We are, yeah. And what is it all about? What is the purpose of it all?
Of life.
Yeah, of life, and of creating new universes, new worlds, of making decisions. What's the purpose?
I have a quote from Clinton Callahan, which is, maybe he's not from him, but I heard him say it. Life is meaningless. Like there is no meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even meaningless that it's meaningless. It has no meaning that it has no meaning. We can create a meaning, but life itself doesn't have, like, I think in our culture that we live in, we get this imprint of, okay, this is the meaning of life. This is how life works. This is what you do. And at the moment, I often feel like we're just animals. And we're smart animals, so we can destroy nature and other animals and just farm them and ausbeuten, like somehow abuse the world by farming the world. And in the end, we're just animals who survive somehow and then also live afterwards, maybe. So what meaning do you want to give your life?
Yeah, I was thinking about arts, because I spoke to a person, and he had some tattoos, and the purpose of the tattoos was that he said, I want something to stay in my life. I want something that no one can take away from me. I cannot lose them, because it is in my skin. It is, as long as I live, I have this idea of yeah. And for me, this belongs together with the idea of creating arts to stay longer than when I'm dead, the art piece is still there somewhere, hanging on the wall in a house. And yeah. What do you?
I don't like this thought. I mean, a lot of artists have it to create the art to stay around, and then people 200 years later still judge them. And I heard an interview from Billie Eilish, and she said, I'm so glad that in a few hundred years, no one will remember me, because I can just experiment and try whatever I want, and I can just be whoever I want to be with no regret somehow of the decisions I make. I can just experiment with my life, because no one will remember me. Like the people at the moment, yeah, maybe, but in the end, no one will remember me. I can experiment with life, which gives me personally way more power over to not take the decisions I make so hard and be so frightened by what people would say. And yet I see that in the culture that is dominant on earth, it's about being remembered, being someone.
With all that knowing, how do you take the next decision for your life?
I mostly follow impulses. Sometimes I sometimes have these things that I have absolute clarity in all my bodies. And it sometimes it just came like in 2 minutes. I did some actions and 2 minutes later I had absolute clarity. Okay, this is what I have to do now. And then I did it without realizing why, without like somehow being able to absorb it. It was just very clear. This is the next step.
If this is true, then you don't know what your next decision will be, right?
Yeah. And
so you can only talk about the decision that you made, not about the decision that you will take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try not to think so much, because I think that the mental body, the brain that's thinking, that we use dominantly in the culture is not the right way to make decisions. Like if I wrangle this decision, should I make this or should I make that? Would I rather have the dress in blue or in red, or maybe light blue? And thinking about pros and cons, if it would be better this or that. It's not really, maybe it just doesn't matter if you cannot decide. Maybe the decision doesn't really matter.
Our time is over. For those who listen, we will write the title of the book in the text below this video, so you can find that. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you, Martina. See you next week.
See you next week.